So I'm Brian Estes. I'm the unit chief for CAL FIRE for the Nevada-Yuba-Placer unit, and we are here at the Reader Ranch for our 2024 Type 1 Fire Crew Certification exercise. So our fire crews across the state, whether they are in partnership with Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, California Conservation Corps, Army National Guard, or our paid crews within our department, we strive through our own training and certification system to maintain the national certification system to either Type 1 or Type 2. What this does is it enables us to operate outside of any limitations across the state in any fire situation. The Type 1 certification is the highest level that we require for our crews. And then we are experimenting with the Type 2 level, which is one step below. But really no difference in our ability to deploy crews for initial attack, extended attack fire suppression, or some of our all-risk mission in search and rescue, flood control, etc. So what we're doing here today is we're running all of our crews through the Type 1 certification level. That comprises of what you see behind me here, which is called the tool out, and that's the verification and validation that the crews are prepared, that they're knowledgeable, that they're equipped, and that they're ready to deploy as a crew. And it's a very dedicated, very strict process. From there, they'll move on to an emergency fire shelter deployment scenario, which tests both the captain's leadership abilities as well as the crew's ability to function together with cohesiveness. From that point, they'll move on to the two really key components of the exercise, and that's our hike and our cut, or the line construction. The hike is about a 4.5 mile per hour pace for about 4 miles with full gear and full regalia, and they have to meet a certain timeline in order to meet that certification. The cut is really the backbone of what a hand crew does, and that's the construction of fire line. They have to do a certain amount of feet within a certain amount of timeline, and the cut pertains to the amount of vegetation removed from the area, and the scrape refers to the amount of area that is down to bare mineral soil. So oftentimes you'll hear something like a 10 and 4 or an 8 and 2. And it's all dependent on your fuel types, meaning that we try to have a line that is cut 1.5 times the fuel height that you're in. So if you're in 10-foot manzanita, then you want your cut to be essentially, 15 to 20 feet wide with a scrape down to bare mineral soil where the fire could not cross on the surface. In addition to those crew certification elements of this exercise, we also inspect and ensure that their vehicles are 100% compliant, organized, clean, efficient, etc. And then, in essence, the entire exercise utilizes our own personnel, from our UAS operations here to our incident command structure to logistics, feeding, planning, even down to finance and how we train people to pay for incidents. So it's really like a full culmination of training and exercising our people across the board.
Features is we can give real-time feeds through connectivity to our executive staff and incident commanders at the scene, and it'll give them a live feed of what the drone platform is looking at. Really good benefits come from that with the real-time thermal imaging camera that we have on board. It can give, in nighttime operations, let's say if we're at a structure fire, nighttime operations, limited visibility, smoked out areas, we can put it up above the smoke, utilize the thermal imaging camera, and it can peer down through that smoke, see the structure, see where the heat signatures are within that structure, and allow us to make better operational decisions.